Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chatting Pitch with me, Leslie, and...
Me, Matt Smith.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad it is you. I wouldn't want it any other way. We've gone off on a wobbly start, but...
It could have been anyone, because we're on Zoom at the moment. We're doing this remotely.
Yeah.
So, it could have just been anyone dropping in on your Zoom meeting. We could get a special guest later on. I'm setting up a special guest, but there's no special guest.
One there. But you saying that, it couldn't have been anyone because I can actually see your face. We're on webcam too. So unless there's someone else who looks exactly like you and sounds just like you, I'm pretty sure it's you.
Well, there's that guy from A Serious Man. You ever seen A Serious Man?
I have seen A Serious Man. Yeah, he looks just like you.
Obviously, for people listening, you don't know what I look like, so just look up A Serious Man. And yeah,
what was that guy's name? Because he was also in Men in Black 3.
He was
Michael Stuhlbarg. That was his name. That's the guy who plays the main guy, Larry Gopnik, the very serious Jewish man. I don't really remember much from that movie. I remember it being quite dry sense of humor because it is a Coen Brothers
It's very dry.
Yeah,
and it kind of. I don't want to say dark because that's a bit of a catch-all term these days, but it's a bit like verging on mean. Like stuff happens to him. Yeah.
It's a very black comedy. Not to be confused with a comedy with, a certain ethnicity. Like I always find that quite a funny term, calling it a black comedy, because wouldn't some people misinterpret that term?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
For example, like what's that Tyler Perry character?
Oh, so are you on about like if there was a movie with like Tyler Perry and like Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart and Terry Crews, and they're all in a comedy movie, and someone calls it a black comedy? It could,
and then suddenly you watch it and it's actually A Serious Man, and it's like, this isn't what I came for. So yeah, I always found that term quite an odd one. I understand dark comedy, but like black comedy always seems a little bit odd to me. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about this week. What we are talking about is an idea that Matthew has come up with, and I quite like the idea. Can you please explain?
So, for some reason, I got musicals in my head. So there's a few I was batting around. The one we're going to do in this episode is we're going to drop Weird Al Yankovic into A Star Is Born, and then we're just going to talk about what would happen in that movie. I mean, we're thinking Weird Al into the sort of Lady Gaga role, I guess.
Yeah.
Although he could be...
He could be the Bradley Cooper side as well.
Thinking about it now, just like imagine he's still...
And then he has his
habitual drug user.
Oh man, the ending to that film would be so dark. With Weird Al.
He like hangs himself by
his accordion,
Yeah, the accordion brace or something.
And you can just hear it go, like as he's swinging in his carriage.
Oh,
anyway, that's the opener. That's the opener to the podcast. Instead of what? What were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. No, I can't beat that.
Anyway, on with the show.
Episode 5 is a drag bar.
Hello and welcome back after the intro. We were talking about A Star Is Born and we had a very dark opening to that. But have we decided, do we want to have Weird Al Yankovic as Lady Gaga's character or Bradley Cooper's character?
I think originally we were going to go Lady Gaga's character, but we could talk about both because I mean... We're just pitching ideas, man. We're just idea guys.
Yeah.
You know?
If this doesn't go through, we can always come up with another idea for the same concept. Because I remember, like earlier on when we were talking, just having a chit chat over text messages. You know, kids these days with their texts. We were talking about possibly having Michael Jackson as one of them. Either the guitarist or Lady Gaga's character, but we came up with a very funny scenario. We may touch upon it a little bit later on if we need to fill up some more time. But let's start off.
Gotta fill that time.
Or fill that time, yeah. So let's start off with Weird Al Yankovic. So I've got the plot up here with me. Do we want to do it so that we just read a paragraph of the plot, and then we say like, oh, how would it happen with Weird Al? Or
Yeah,
I think that might be a good way to do it because the plot's not that long. I mean, I've got it up on.
yeah. I think maybe like key scenes as well, like famous or more famous scenes from a movie, because there's obviously that famous song that Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga did at the Oscars. What was it called? Shallow.
Shallow, yeah. So this would be. Oh wait, hold on. How far are we taking this? Are we even gonna parody the Shallow song, but like do it Weird Al Yankovic style?
Well, that's what I'm trying to think right now. How would Weird Al do it? Would it just be called Shallow, and it would be about? Oh, it could be about the music industry, about someone who is shallow. But I guess that was maybe a point the film was originally trying to make. That's the hard thing about parody. Sometimes it drifts very close to the original.
Yeah. Or you know what we could do? We could take Weird Al's career in his heyday, where he only really did songs about food. What rhymes with shallow?
Yeah, literally just what I was thinking.
Anyway, I think we might be getting a bit too ahead of ourselves, but we'll get there when we get there. So I'm going to go ahead and, if you don't mind, Matthew, I'm going to read the first paragraph of the plot, and then maybe we could take turns in reading it. Have you got the plot up on your computer screen?
I can search for it now. A Star is Born. You may be referring to the 1937 film, the 1954 film, the 1976 film. So many versions.
While you're trying to find the version, I'm going to go ahead and just fill up this time while you're staring at your computer screen.
No, I've got it, mate. I've got it in front of me.
Don't worry about it then. So we're back to the beginning again. I don't know if we should read the whole thing as it is, or should we just replace the character name as we're reading it? So it says Weird Al, a famous country rock singer.
Yeah.
But then it wouldn't be famous country rock singer. It would be Weird Al, a famous parody songwriter.
Famous accordion rock god.
Okay, so Weird Al Yankovic, a famous accordion rock god.
Wait, I thought we were putting him as Lady Gaga.
Oh, are we? Okay, sorry. So, all right then. We'll do it that way.
Actually, thinking about it, I believe Weird Al is very anti-drug and alcohol. I think he's abstinent from those things.
But then if we go by what Weird Al was like in his heyday, we could just replace the drugs and alcohol with stuff that he liked in the past, like Cheese Whiz and Twinkies. Have you ever seen his an abomination of a concoction that he came up with on, I think it was the Conan show, or it could have been on another talk show, but he said he came up with this thing called the Wiener Dog, and it's or a Twinkie dog or something like that, where it's basically a Twinkie cut in half with a sausage in the middle with cheese whiz on top or whipped cream on top or something like that. It's exactly what it sounds like, and it tastes exactly what you think it might taste like.
So the plot would be like Alfred Weird Al Yankovic, a famous accordion rock god, privately battling a hot dog and cheese whiz addiction.
Plays a concert. I don't know. I find that quite funny, but if we want to go both ways, we can, and just
yeah.
What do you think the benefits are having Weird Al play Bradley Cooper's character compared to Lady Gaga's character?
I mean, if we go with Lady Gaga's character, she writes songs. So I suppose that in our film version, that would be a way for Weird Al to be
I've just had
to be. Go on.
If we only replace one of the characters, that means it's either Bradley Cooper, battling with Weird Al, or Lady Gaga battling with. They're intertwined in the story together. But what if we replaced both of them? So one would be Weird Al and the other one would be Michael Jackson. I think we might be. It could be overcomplicating things, though. That's the thing.
That might be a bit too far. Should we just go with him as Lady Gaga's character for now?
Yeah, go for it. Let's just do that. So let's just say Jack Maine, a famous country rock singer, privately battling an alcohol and drug addiction, plays a concert. His main support is Bobby, his manager and older half-brother. After a show, Jack goes out for drinks and visits a drag bar where he witnesses a tribute performance to Edith PF by Weird Al. But
He works as a waitress and singer-songwriter.
But is it a performance tribute to Edith Piaf, or is it a performance tribute to Michael Jackson as Weird Al?
Oh, no, I think it's the same song that she sings in the movie with all the same moves, like the bit where she lies on the bar and has like a really intense moment looking into Bradley Cooper's face, except it's Weird Al and there's an accordion strapped to his chest. And as he lies down on the bar, you just hear like...
Yes, I like it. All right, so Jack is amazed by his performance, and they spend the night talking to each other, where Weird Al discloses to him her unsuccessful efforts in pursuing a professional music career. Weird Al shares with Jack some lyrics she's been working on, and Jack tells Weird Al she's a talented songwriter and should perform his own material. So what are the lyrics? The scene. What are the lyrics that Weird Al is sharing with?
Well, that's the scene where she first writes "Shallow." So I guess in our version, it's the scene where he first writes Marshmallow.
Oh my god. You guys can't see this, but Matt just rolled his eyes to the back of his skull. If you can think of anything else that rhymes with shallow, that's better than marshmallow.
No, I think it's perfect. Because instead of in the shallow, it should just be, I don't know, like filled marshmallow, and I don't know. And it's just
marshmallow, low. Marshmallow, mallow, low. Yeah. And then what's the song even about? That's the thing.
What is the song all about?
Well, it doesn't matter because his parody.
Yeah, it's just about marshmallows.
It's just anything. It's just about marshmallows. It doesn't have to have the same substance as the original Shallow song. There's no context that he has to draw. Like Weird Al is, for some reason, a drag artist with an accordion, now wanting to pursue a career in parody songwriting.
For some reason.
And he's also a potential lover of Bradley Cooper. I don't think we need to spend the whole episode trying to write lyrics for the Marshmallow song. I think we can kind of guess.
No, but I think the general gist of the original is, are you happy in the world, or do you need something more in your life? Yeah. Whereas the Weird Al version would be, are you happy with these plain marshmallows, or would you like filled marshmallows?
Yeah.
And then the chorus is filled marshmallow, mallow, mallow.
Is this in the point of view of the marshmallow? Because at one point, the lyrics kind of go, I'm in the deep end, watch as I dive in. And that's the marshmallow being dipped into chocolate or something like that?
Yeah. So I guess it is from the point of view of the marshmallow.
Yeah. Man, this Weird Al guy, he's deep. He is
deep. It works. The Marshmallow song works on so many levels. It's about Weird Al. It's about Jackson, Maine. It's about the marshmallow itself. And it's about love.
Do you want to read the next paragraph and try your best to adapt it to Weird Al's career? So remember, Ali is Weird Al, yeah.
Jack invites Weird Al Yankovic to his next show. Despite his initial refusal, he attends and with Jack's encouragement sings Marshmallow on stage with him. Jack invites Weird Al to go on tour with him and they form a romantic relationship. In Arizona, Weird Al and Jack visit the ranch where Jack grew up and where his father is buried, only to find that Bobby had sold the land. That Bobby. And it was converted to a wind farm. I quite also like the idea that the moment Jackson, Maine finds out that his dad's land has been sold, gets undercut by Weird Al's accordion once again. Anyway, angered at his betrayal, Jack punches Bobby, who subsequently quits as his manager. Before doing so, Bobby reveals that he did inform Jack about the sale, but Jack was too inebriated to notice. So how would Weird Al deal with that?
Writes another song.
There's that scene where yeah. I mean, it's got quite a soundtrack to it, isn't it? I mean, What other songs have we got? Let's see.
I'm just trying to, I don't know how much we can adapt that section into being more in tune with Weird Al's career, because it's just what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Like, everything still works with Weird Al being in it.
Yeah, he's just there with an accordion. Yeah, there's that scene where Weird Al goes on Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to perform his song. So maybe instead of in the film, Jackson Maine is very angry at Ali for going away from her country roots and doing a song that's very poppy.
Yeah.
And it's got lots of dancers and it's a light show. And she's in she's in a costume instead of just going on and just being truthful to oneself, as Jackson Maine might say.
And what was that song?
Oh,
I remember Bradley Cooper in that scene, like after he listened to it, it was like, why you gotta do me with an ass like that, or something like that.
yeah. Is that when he's drunk and she's in the bath and he's like, hey, is this a drag bar?
Where's the soundtrack? Here we go. So the name of that song is Why Did You Do That? Yeah. So what would Weird Al's version be?
So I suppose Jackson Maine gets angry at Weird Al for abandoning his country roots and deciding to go with an accordion song with dancers still and a light show.
Yeah.
What was the original called? Why Did You Do That? I don't know.
It could be something like not going in his roots of food parodies and doing something completely irrelevant, because that's not his roots, is it? Like, because you think about how deep Shallow's lyrics were. In Bradley Cooper's eyes, he thinks the Marshmallow song is really deep.
Oh.
But then what contrasts that in Weird Al's career, you know?
So maybe he's angry at Weird Al because he moves away from his food song roots.
Yeah.
And he does a song about punctuation. I know Weird Al's done a song about punctuation, which is actually really funny.
Is it which one is it? It was he did a parody of Blurred Lines or something, and then it was something else. I can't remember what it was. Weird Al, Blurred Lines, Word Crimes. Yeah. He did a very funny song about grammar,
which is great.
Didn't The Lonely Island do something similar to that as well? It was like semicolon, something like that.
They did a song about semicolons. Yeah.
I don't remember if it was funny or not. There was someone featured in that song. Was it Rihanna or something like that?
I can't remember.
Some big artist was in it. Anyway, that's besides the point. So, why did you do that? So, what would that parody be?
Well, I think the key word in there is do. You got to find a word that rhymes with do.
Do. Why did you?
Why did you brew that? So maybe he's not talking about food anymore. He's talking about drinks.
Oh yeah.
He's moved away from his food roots.
Moved away from solids and has gone on to liquids.
Why did you brew that? Brew that.
Got the iced
brew
tea.
that blue cheese. Brew that iced tea. That's it. That's the song.
Yeah. Why did you brew that iced tea? Like, it is even formatted in one of those pop style titles where it's like, why did you brew that? In brackets, iced tea.
Yes.
Or the iced tea song. Yeah, that's it. We got it. So he's doing a song about iced tea, and Bradley Cooper's not having it because he's like, this. And then he confronts him at some point and just says like, why would you brew that iced tea? In the same vein as like how he was.
And Weird Al's in the bath.
Yeah.
And he's just under the bubbles.
Oh, we're getting too far ahead of ourselves here because we haven't read the next paragraph. So it's like during Weird Al Yankovic's performance on Saturday Night Live, Bobby reconciles with Jack. Later, Weird Al and an inebriated Jack have a fight about Weird Al's growing artistic success. This is the part where we're at, yeah? So Jack drunkenly criticizes Weird Al's new image and music.
Yeah, because he hates that Weird Al has gone from the short hairstyle and the mustache.
Yeah.
And he hates that he's shaved the mustache and grown his hair long.
Grown it out like a poodle dog.
Yeah, and he hates it.
Is it a poodle? Like, what's that dog that has the really long ears?
Oh, it's like a cockapoo or something, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So he's almost adopted the kind of cockapoo type hairstyle, and Jack's having none of it.
Yeah, he's like, so why are you growing your hair like a cockapoo? My version of Jackson Maine sounds a bit like my version of Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Which is a different recasting.
Go on, let's hear it.
Which I don't think we should go into. No, absolutely not.
Oh, you almost did it though, so it's fine. It says his success appears to be outpacing his own recent decline in popularity. By comparison, Weird Al is nominated for 3 Grammys.
Why wouldn't he?
Wow. Grammys, like what kind of Grammys are they? Would it be best songwriter, best
songwriter, clearly.
Yeah, best
best
parody.
new act, best parody.
So in this is an alternate timeline where Lady Gaga's like version of Star Is Born exists.
Yeah.
And then we've just done another movie where it's just Bradley Cooper playing the exact same character, but Weird Al is just parodying all of Lady Gaga's songs. So
yeah.
So this is why maybe I'm just getting too far ahead of myself.
At the Grammys, a visibly intoxicated Jack performs in a tribute to, well, I suppose that stays the same, doesn't it? Because it's Jack. I was going to say Krusty the Clown. Later in the evening, Weird Al wins the Best New Parody Award. When he goes up on stage to receive her award, a still inebriated Jack staggers up to her, where he publicly pours iced tea on himself and then passes out.
Oh no!
Weird Al's father, Lorenzo, berates a semi-conscious Jack while Weird Al attempts to help him sober up. Jack joins a rehab program shortly after. He is in rehab for 2 months, where he discloses to his counselor that, it's getting a bit dark.
Oh, yeah.
Suicide. He also mentions that he has hearing problems due to tinnitus or tinnitus. How do you pronounce it?
I think it's tinnitus. That's what I always think.
You know how I pronounce it?
Do you say tinnitus?
I say, what? What did you say? That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah, that's a very good joke.
That's
very good.
Joke.
That's almost as good as your Sylvester Stallone impression that we'll never hear. Moving on, Jack tearfully apologizes.
Did I ever tell you about the idea I had for, the bar scene where Lady Gaga shows up and she sings La Vie en Rose?
No.
And I don't know why, but I quite liked the idea. There's a line that Bradley Cooper says just as he goes in, and he asks someone like, "Is this a drag bar?" And I really like the idea of cutting it, where he just keeps asking that question again and again, because he's got the tinnitus,
yeah.
and he's a little bit drunk, so he's not sure where he is. So he's got, "Is this a drag bar?" And it cuts to the other guy, and he's like, "Yeah," and it cuts back to Jackson, Maine. He's like, "Is this a drag bar?" And the guy's like, and you just like cut another reaction of the guy, and he's like, yeah, it's a drag bar, I just said. And it cuts to Bradley Cooper. Is this a drag bar? And he's like, and the other guy, he doesn't even respond, he just looks at him now.
Is this also the same clip of him, or is it a different, is it just him saying it, or is this an editing trick where we just keep coming back to the same scene and we just go, is this a drag bar?
Oh, yeah, it would just be the same clip again and again, is this a drag bar?
It's almost like, I think I've shown you a clip of Michael Caine from The Dark Knight Rises talking about the tangerine. Or was it The Dark Knight? Which one is that from? Is it the second or third one?
The Dark Knight is his big, yeah. It's
and
Michael Caine's big moment.
I once saw a child playing with a ruby the size of a tangerine. And then it just keeps cutting back to him saying, tangerine. Some people just like a tangerine. So it's kind of like that, but it's Bradley Cooper just saying, hey, is this a drag bar?
And it's also unclear as to whether he genuinely doesn't know or if he's just trying to annoy the guy.
Yeah.
He's just taking a piss.
Yeah. Or he's just malfunctioning. He's just not.
Is this a drag bar? And he just keeps saying drag bar again and again, slightly higher. Drag bar.
What's that? That reminds me of that scene. I think I sent you a picture of Homer Simpson in his nuclear plant office.
I work hard for the money.
So hard for the money.
Turntable over.
Yeah, turntable over. Let's get back on track here.
I once saw a child play with a Rubik's Cube. Sorry, mate, what did you say?
Let's try and finish this off because we've got one more paragraph here. So, do you want to read it or shall I read it?
You can read it, mate.
Okay. So, Jack tearfully apologizes to Weird Al for his behavior. While returning home, Jack admits to Bobby that it was him who idolized and not their father. Weird Al asks... Very emotional moment, yeah. And then he backs away in his car, right? That's the really emotional scene, yeah. And he doesn't look back. Great acting in that scene. Very, very good.
Sam Elliott, man. Yeah. Sam Elliott always does a good job.
Weird Al asks Rez
Who's Rez? Oh, I think Rez is the record producer.
Isn't Rez also a character from Tron Legacy? You've been de-rezzed.
Weird Al asks Rez. No,
Rez from
not to cut.
Do I create the perfect system? Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, there's a scene in Tron Legacy where Jeff Bridges is doing a flashback scene where he is with Tron, I believe, and he's talking to his clone, which is played by himself as well, in a very sketchy, de-aged VFX on its face. And then he just says to original Jeff Bridges, the clone goes, what does he say? Am I to create the perfect system?
Yes. And then Jeff Bridges, just for a moment, just turns back into Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. Or the dude from Big Lebowski. Just goes,
Yeah.
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 But yeah, anyway, we've gone off track.
Weird Al asks Rez not to de-res Jack with his disc.
And then Rez refuses, prompting Weird Al to cancel the remainder of the tour so he can take care of Jack. Later on, Rez arrives with his data disc at the home to await Weird Al. While waiting, Rez confronts Jack and accuses him of nearly ruining Weird Al's career.
Weird Al's perfect system.
Yeah, and stating that Jack will certainly relapse again. That evening, Weird Al lies to Jack and tells him that his record label has cancelled his tour. I keep saying her instead of his. So he can focus on his second album being...
I'm glad we could get a reading lesson in whilst doing this podcast, Leslie. You're doing very, very well.
Man, I am so bad at reading. You can probably tell. Sorry, I'm not a grade A student.
No, it's the his and her. It's the his and her, mate. Right?
It's throwing me off so much. Jack promises that he will come to his concert that night, but after Weird Al leaves, he unfortunately hangs himself with Weird Al's accordion in his garage.
Accordion, yeah.
And then Weird Al, grief-stricken and inconsolable after Jack's suicide, is visited by Bobby, who tells her that the suicide was Jack's own fault and not hers or his. The closing scene reveals a flashback of Jack working on a song for Weird Al, which he never finished writing. Weird Al sings this song as a tribute. So what was the song? Do we go back to the roots?
I like the idea that the film ends with a close-up of Weird Al looking to the heavens. I like that idea. I'll never love again. So I guess it could be like, I'll never
eat again.
I'll never fry again.
I'll never drink again.
I'll never drink again. So many different options.
Yeah. I'll never iced tea again.
I'll never brew again. I'll never fry again.
I'll never brew again. That's a good one because that's a callback to the other one, which was, what was it called?
Oh, why did you brew that?
The way you brew it. Why did you brew that?
But the way you brew it. I like that one. That's the B-side.
And then, he does he finished off the song, which is I'll Never Brew Again. Because clearly Bradley Cooper's character in this version had a big iced tea addiction to the point where he poured it all over himself at the Grammys.
Yeah.
So this was originally his song, I'll Never Brew Again. Weird Al finishes it off and sings it at, what show was this again? Was this the Grammys again?
Possibly. Or we could have I'll Never Love... I'm trying to think of a food that rhymes with again.
What does... okay, you know what? When I have problems with rhyming, I always go on this website called rhymezone.com.
Rhymezone! Yes!
So let's go again and let's see if there's anything that rhymes with again that sounds like food.
I'll never love a Glen. I think that's the best we're going to have. I'll never love Sean Penn. But yeah, anyway, is that the
I'll never love chow mein. That sounds like the kind of parody that Weird Al might do. He's trying to get back to his roots, but he's like overstretching the parody.
Oh, I love that idea. But it's still emotional. Yeah. I'll never love chow mein.
Is that how it goes? Oh, I need to listen to it again.
It cuts to Bradley Cooper on the piano singing it. I'll never love chow mein.
I'll never love again. I just need to quickly refresh my memory. You guys won't be able to hear it because I've got it on headphones.
Oh, which is a callback because Dave Chappelle's character is called George Noodles Stone. It all just comes together.
Full circle.
It all comes together. Full circle like a noodle. A noodle that's been wrapped around in on itself.
Oh yeah, so the song goes like, I'll never do another touch, or something like that. I'll never take away the pain of the song will be, I'll never fry another dish. I'll never, I don't know. Can you think of anything?
Are you listening to it right now?
No, I played the chorus just very, very short, and I just had to refresh the memory of the melody in my head, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to come up with any lyrics. But I think I'll Never Love Chow Mein is good enough.
I'll Never Love Chow Mein, yeah.
And then that's it, really. So Bradley Cooper's dead.
Yeah.
Weird Al Yankovic has redeemed his, what's the word when you, avenged? No, that's not quite avenged.
Weird Al kills Rez, and Rez shatters into a million digitized pieces.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie.
And then the end of the movie ends with like the grid song from Tron Legacy.
But played with an accordion.
And one day I got in.
Well, no, it wouldn't be said that. It would be, and one day it would be a little wackier.
This is Weird Al narrating his own movie,
which is now Tron Fricassee.
A Star is Tron. That's the name of the.
A Star is Tron. A Star is Tron Fricassee.
Yeah, that's it. I think. I mean, I can't think of anything else that we can add. I mean, that seems like a very perfect movie.
I don't think there's any material that can be left on the cutting floor. There, the cutting room floor. The cutting floor? What's the cutting floor?
Mate, that's a completely different area.
Is it like...
It's like a barber's.
Okay, yeah.
Or like that scene in Saw where they have to chop all their legs off.
Oh.
That's the cutting floor. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to go there, mate. Oh, why would you want to send someone there, mate? I'd rather go to a barber's. Have a nice haircut.
Get my hair done.
Get my hair done and not be trapped in some sort of weird sadist dream world. Yeah, I'd rather get a haircut.
Anyway, this has been a good episode. I enjoyed it. It was good. You know what we should start doing? We should start writing these down and sending them to movie studios to see if anyone picks them up.
You say that as a
to the Pitchmobile.
You say that as a joke, but I've got a bit of spare time.
But we should totally do that. At the end of every episode, we should just end it like how Batman and Robin goes off to their adventures and go. Boy!
And the letter we could write to the studio for this one, it could just be it's A Star Is Born meets, and then we intentionally forget to put a second movie, and then just underneath, just have a paragraph explaining what happens. No room for error. And then right at the end, the name of the movie that was supposed to be where it says meets is at the bottom. Yeah. And what we had done is we just like pushed enter between those two words and just copy and pasted our script. So it's pushed everything down to the bottom. Right. So at the bottom, there's just Tron Legacy. For some reason, just... Yeah, Tron Legacy. At the end, so it's yours... Kind regards. Leslie Way, Matt Smith, Tron Legacy. And then with our phone numbers. Please call us. We look forward to hearing from you. Convenience. All right, that's it. I like it. Do you have any ideas for next week? Or next episode? Next episode? Well, You did pitch something to me, but... unfortunately, I haven't watched one of those movies. Oh, yeah, it's whether if you can be bothered to watch Les Mis or not. It's my first idea was dropping Batman into Les Mis, just because I liked the idea of Batman just clearly not being on the rebel side. Because the whole film is sort of in the midst of the French Revolution, and the revolutionists are sort of the good guys, I guess. I don't know. The main character, Does Batman sing? Oh, most definitely. Yeah. What's that most famous one? Oh God. The one that Anne Hathaway. It's the one Anne Hathaway does, where she goes to the barbers. She doesn't have a good old time. Maybe she went to the wrong cutting floor, but
No.
I can't remember what it's called.
So does Batman get his ears cut off from his mask or something? And then
he gets his cape cut, so it's really short. So it's like
but what's that song?
It's like a child's cape. I
What's the song?
can't remember. All I've got is A Star Is Born in my head now.
I don't know why I've got tomorrow.
We could drop Batman in Annie.
That's Annie, isn't it? Yeah. And what's the other one from Cats?
I don't know. I've got I Dreamed a Dream. That's the Anne Hathaway one.
I Dreamed a Dream, yeah.
I Dreamed a Bat.
Is I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis or is that from Cats?
Oh, I Dreamed a Dream is Les Mis.
Okay, I somehow get those two. Oh, Memories is Cats. I get those confused somehow because they're just Broadway hits, you know?
Yeah.
And aren't they both written by Andrew Lloyd Webber? Or
No, Les Mis was like over 100 years ago, I think.
Oh, is it? I literally have no idea.
So that's why it would have been a pretty bad idea. Poet and novelist Victor Hugo's 1862 novel of the same name.
Could you do me an impression of Batman singing, especially Christian Bale's Batman singing "I Dreamed a Dream"?
I don't even know if he would sing it. He would just
it would just be mumbles.
Just sort of growl
grumbles, like I dreamed a dream.
He would be very, very insistent that he dreamed a dream. He'd be telling everyone. He'd be grabbing them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I Dreamed a Dream would be his song. I think what was the one from Cats that you said?
Memories.
I think Memories would be better sung by Robin, as played by Eddie Redmayne.
Eddie Redmayne. Speaking of Cats, have you seen that movie?
I have not.
I almost want to watch it just because I want to be able to see how bad it is. And I don't want to watch I want to watch the initial theatrical cut where they didn't finish the VFX and Dame Judi Dench just has a human hand.
Yeah, I want to watch that, and I'd like to compare it to. I think it'd be interesting to compare it to the Fantastic Four movie. I was going to say Josh Trank's Fantastic Four, but I don't know if it is really Josh Trank's Fantastic Four. It was like if he is to be believed, he has an alternate sort of idea of what the movie should have been.
Release the Trank cut, which is what they've done with the new one.
No. Release the Snyder cut. Yeah, because Zack Snyder hasn't had enough chances.
How do you feel?
Clearly hasn't had enough
opportunities. How do you feel about that?
What, about release the Snyder cut?
Because I know that you are a bit of a... You're not a fanboy as such, but you do really like the Batman property in many ways. Just not the recent DC universe or DCEU universe. The DC Fandom! Come join me in the big dome!
Come into the Fandom!
Such a corny title. I'm sorry.
Arms open wide, and he's got like a top hat on. He looks like Hugh Jackman in that movie where he's like the circus guy. What is it called? The other musical?
Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman. Yeah, he's like, come into the DC Fandom, and he steps aside and he's pointing his stick towards the entrance.
We have plenty.
We have Acts Plenty, we have Batman, and we have another Batman.
And don't forget to get your snacks. And then he's just singing Let's All Go to the Lobby.
Yes.
And it's all really echoed because how big the fandom is.
Yeah, and also the fandom is empty.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off with the fandom, but how do you feel about the whole Snyder Cut thing?
It's similar to how I feel about the new Batman film with Robert Pattinson. I mean, as of this recording, the first trailer for that film has just come out, so I'm not judging the film. I just feel like, have we not done this character enough now?
You mean you think they should just stop doing Batman films?
Just for a bit. Just leave it 5 minutes. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm sick of the amount of articles that are saying, hasn't there been enough Batman films? And I feel like if I'm sick of the articles saying that, then I'm definitely sick of, oh, look, here's someone else's adaptation. Surely there's another character or another story we could do.
But do you feel the same way about Spider-Man? Like being redone over and over again?
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Are you getting a bit of superhero fatigue?
I am getting a bit of superhero fatigue, but also it's just that the stories don't matter because in a year there'll be another actor playing that character and there'll be another adaptation. I'm not saying never do another Batman movie. What I'm saying is that there was a huge gap between Batman and Robin and Batman Begins, and they were so different as well.
Yeah.
You could argue that the two are incomparable because they're trying to make a different film. Whereas now it's just, Oh, it's slightly different grey used in the colour palette. Oh, wow.
It's like, oh, it's too grey. Let's put some more colour in it. Which is what they did with Justice League, right?
Yes.
Because Man of Steel was very grey.
Very grey. Well, someone compared the...
I won't forget that time we went to go watch Man of Steel, and my phone just went off in the first 10 seconds.
And it was that Vine. Was it Vine?
It was Vine, yeah. I recorded I recorded a Vine of...
It just kept playing over and over.
What was it? It was like me getting my phone and zooming into a bowl of cereal or something like that, and just going, whoa!
It was 3 different shots of the phone going towards some ice cream. And then the 4th shot was you eating the ice cream. So all anyone heard in the cinema, really loud as well, because it was when the curtains just opened and the title of the movie has come up, and it says signed off by the BBFC, 12A rating, features, blah, blah. So it was all quiet and dark, and all you heard was meow, 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 meow. And what was worse,
some guy at the front just went, excuse me, mate, can you turn your phone off?
Well, what was worse is that because it's a Vine, it just kept playing over and over and over again.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think anyone really knew. I was trying to turn my phone off.
Yes.
But I didn't realise that was on when I went to unlock my phone. All I wanted to do was turn my phone off, but that thing was already there playing in the background.
Yeah. So everyone in that screening thought we'd perfectly tuned it up, and we were just wanting to ruin the experience.
Yeah.
But Zack Snyder did that himself. No, I kind of liked Man of Steel, actually.
Really?
It was the first half.
I haven't seen it since that one time. Have you seen it again since?
Yeah, I have. The first half, I thought, there's something interesting here. Like, there's a good movie here. And then it just turned into buildings falling down. And
then they tried to kind of fix that in Batman v Superman, right?
Yes, by making everything grayer and featuring, as we talked about before, the peach iced tea or something.
Yeah, peach iced tea and Ben Affleck.
But with the release of the Snyder Cut thing. Sorry, coming back to that, I feel like this is it was a huge movie, the Justice League, in terms of the budget that went into it, the people that were involved, the time that was spent on marketing it. And it didn't do well, which happens, regardless of whether it was good or bad. Good movies have also failed in a similar way. And I just feel like it's a shame, but there is only so much time, and there are other stories that we could be looking at. Because let's say conservatively, the whole thing plus the re-editing for HBO Max, say conservatively that cost £200 million. Let's say all in with the marketing, £250 million. How many sort of mid-budget films with original ideas, with different directors with their own artistic voices, how many of those films could you have made for that budget in that time?
Yeah.
You could have easily made 10, 11 or 12, and you've only got to have 1 or 2 of them to be financial hits.
They're kind of like pulling at strings just to try and like milk this franchise as much as possible because people didn't get what they wanted.
Yeah.
So that's essentially why this cut's being released. But have you also noticed that the trailer that they released just seemed like it was just B-roll footage? It wasn't like a brand new movie. It wasn't the same movie, but it was just, oh, this clip, I remember this shot. Yeah. It's just a bit slightly different. Or it's something a bit different.
It's like Star Wars, the recut stuff with George Lucas and his team have put in some CGI animal in the background, but the shot's the same. And what happens is the same. I got that feeling from it.
Anyway, I feel like the second portion of this podcast has turned into us ranting about Hollywood. So we should probably end it there. Yeah. Right. So, thank you for joining in. I hope you enjoyed that rant, and also the very good "A Tron is Born."
No, it was a Star is Tron Fricassee was the final title, I believe.
Can you just remind me who is Tron Fricassee? What's fricassee?
What's fricassee?
Am I? It's a type of dish.
Yeah, fricassee.
I've never had fricassee.
No.
I was like, is fricassee like a person? Is it like Anthony Bourdain or something like that? No.
A Star is Bourdain.
No, fricassee, a dish stewed or fried pieces of meat served in thick white sauce. Okay.
Yeah, it's like chicken and veg and stuff.
It looks nice, but I've never had fricassee. So, yeah. And
we'll definitely leave this bit in.
right. I've been Leslie, and this has also
Matt.
been... Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Off to the Pitchmobile!